Have you ever picked up your phone to reply to one message, and suddenly it's 2 hours later, you've watched 10 reels, 3 cat videos, and somehow learned how to make lasagna in a washing machine? Yeah, me too. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You must reclaim the reins of your mind, or someone else will drive it for you." And today, someone else is driving. Whether it's your phone, your notifications, or that endless craving for quick hits of dopamine, distraction has become the silent thief of modern life. Before we dive in, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to help our journey grow. Your support helps me bring you more content like this. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming. Stick with me till the end. This might just be the wake-up call you didn't know you needed. Number 1, the illusion of a quick check. Let's be honest. You open your phone to just check something, and suddenly it's been 47 minutes, you've watched 12 videos, ignored 3 responsibilities, and somehow ended up researching if cats can be Stoics. They can't, by the way. They're too emotional. This tiny decision, seemingly harmless, has massive consequences over time. The Stoics taught us that our most valuable possession is time. Seneca said, "People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful." And yet, we hand over our time like it's infinite. A scroll here, a like there, binge watch session later, and another day's gone. What's worse is that we believe we're in control, that we can stop whenever we want. But the truth is, these tools are designed to hack your brain, hijack your focus, and keep you scrolling. You're not weak, you're just playing against a rigged system. Even Epictetus would rage quit TikTok. Every quick check fractures your focus. And the cost of fragmented attention isn't just low productivity, it's a diluted life. You're alive, yes, but not really living. You're reacting. And Stoicism isn't about reaction, it's about deliberate action. Number 2, focus is a superpower. Focus isn't just helpful, it's rare. In today's world, if you can sit down and work for 60 uninterrupted minutes, you're basically a productivity demigod. But here's the twist. Focus isn't something you find, it's something you protect. Stoicism teaches self-discipline. And in a distracted age, discipline isn't just about resisting pleasures. It's about resisting interference. Every time you train your mind to come back to one thing, to persist, you're developing anti-fragility. You're building a stoic mind. But let's be real, focus doesn't feel sexy. Scrolling does. Watching 100 short videos does. Jumping between tabs feels productive. But remember, motion isn't progress, and dopamine isn't meaning. A calm, concentrated mind, that's where transformation happens. So, instead of chasing hacks, start by subtracting distractions. Reclaim your calendar. Block time for deep work. Silence your phone like it owes you money. Your time is a fortress. Build walls. Let only what matters in. That's not just stoic discipline, it's self-respect. Number 3, the true price of distraction. The biggest lie distraction tells you is, you'll do it later. But later rarely comes. And when it does, it's too late. You're not just losing hours to TikTok, you're losing opportunities. Lost ideas, unwritten books, untaken walks, undone growth. Stoicism doesn't just want you to exist, it urges you to thrive. But thriving requires clarity, not clutter. If your days are full of noise, your life will echo with regret. Because when the distractions stop, you'll look up and realize they didn't just steal your minutes, they stole your meaning. And let's face it, no one ever lies on their deathbed saying, "I wish I had scrolled more." What we regret isn't the things we did, but the things we didn't do because we were too distracted to begin. That's the real cost. Not lost time, lost you. The version of you that could have written that book, started that business, deepened that relationship. The cost of distraction is disconnection from self, from purpose, from life. The good news? You still have time, but only if you reclaim it now. Number 4, the Stoic blueprint for a distraction-free life. So how do we escape this trap? Not by deleting all your apps and moving into a cave. Though if that's your thing, no judgment. The Stoic solution is awareness plus action. Know what's stealing your time and act to reclaim it. Start with morning clarity. Ask yourself what matters today, then build barriers around it. Turn off notifications. Set time blocks. Make your phone boring. Turn your environment into a Stoic temple, free from chaos and clutter. Next, apply the dichotomy of control. You can't control how addictive platforms are, but you can control how often you use them. Choose intention over impulse. Pause before you click. Ask, is this worthy of my time, or just trying to steal it? And finally, come back to memento mori. You will die. So will I. We don't have forever. Every distraction is a bet that you do, but you don't. So use today. Use this hour. Use this moment. And if you must scroll with purpose. Preferably on a Stoic video like this one. Number 5, death by notification. The modern memento mori. The Stoics meditated on death, not to be morbid, but to live intentionally. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think, said Marcus Aurelius. Now, imagine being interrupted during that thought by a meme notification. Hard to be profound when your phone's reminding you that your old classmate just made lasagna. We're conditioned to believe we're always busy, but much of our busyness is artificial, created by distractions we willingly allow. Each ping demands your attention, forcing your mind to shift, restart, and recalibrate. That mental toll isn't free. It's draining your energy and shortening your attention span. You're not tired because of work, you're tired because you're never truly present. Your brain is juggling 100 tabs, and unlike your browser, it doesn't ask for permission before crashing. Distraction fatigue is real, and unlike coffee, philosophy is the long-term fix. The Stoic version of mindfulness is presence. Living now, being intentional. That means saying no, not just to toxic people, but to seductive distractions. Because every time you trade presence for ping, you're exchanging life for noise. That's not a bargain, that's a heist. Number 6, distractions masquerade as productivity. It's wild how distraction now wears a suit and calls itself productivity. You might think you're being efficient, answering messages, jumping on calls, multitasking, but most of the time, you're just busy being busy. The Stoics would laugh, or cry, probably both, because true effectiveness isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. Seneca wrote, "He who is everywhere is nowhere," and that's the perfect description of digital multitasking. You're replying to a message while listening to a podcast, while scrolling a feed, while mentally preparing dinner. The result? You did everything, but experienced nothing. That's not productivity, that's chaos. The problem is that we often chase what's urgent, not what's important. Notifications scream, deep work whispers, so we default to the dopamine hits instead of the deep focus. But Stoicism is about choosing value over volume, about quality over quantity. Your energy is finite. Don't dilute it chasing distractions disguised as duties. To be truly productive, strip it down. Ask yourself, if I only did one thing today, what would make it a good day? Do that. Guard it like a Stoic guarding his virtue. Because in the end, productivity isn't about how much you did, it's about whether what you did actually mattered. Number 7, your environment is a silent puppet master. You think you're making choices, but often your environment is making them for you. Phones within reach, tabs open, TV in the background. These aren't neutral objects. They are constant invitations to drift. And every time you drift, you reinforce the habit of distraction. The Stoics understood the power of surroundings. Marcus Aurelius practiced journaling in stillness, away from noise. Epictetus advised choosing your company and settings with care. Not because they were picky, but because they knew the external shapes the internal. Your thoughts are a reflection of your environment. Want to stop being distracted? Don't just try harder. Rearrange the battlefield. Remove temptation. Declutter your space. Put your phone in another room when working. Set up your workspace like a dojo. Minimal, focused, intentional. Discipline isn't about being strong all the time. It's about designing a life that doesn't require constant resistance. Every day, you're either designing a system for focus or allowing one for distraction. Choose wisely, because you can't win a mental war when the enemy lives in your pocket. Number 8, the emotional cost. Distractions don't just cost time. They quietly fry your nervous system. You check your phone 100 times a day, and each time you don't realize you're conditioning anxiety. Constant micro-stimulation kills your ability to rest. And when you can't rest, you can't reflect. When you can't reflect, you lose yourself. You might feel constantly overwhelmed, scattered, uneasy, but not know why. It's not because life is harder. It's because your mind is never still. Stoicism doesn't just teach clarity, it demands it. And clarity can't happen in a mind that's always reacting, always refreshing, always chasing the next ping. Imagine journaling after 8 hours of distraction. You'd write, what was today again? Your ability to self-examine gets blocked by mental noise. And if you can't hear yourself think, how can you grow? Growth begins in silence. It begins in the pauses. In the moments we've traded for content we barely remember. Want to feel better? Be bored. Let your mind slow down. Take a walk without a podcast. Eat without your phone. Just be. Your peace isn't in another app. It's in your ability to unplug, breathe, and return to the self. As Epictetus would put it, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. You can't do either if you're always distracted. Number 9, distraction kills depth. You can't go deep if you're always switching lanes. And I'm not just talking about deep work. I mean deep thinking, deep presence, deep connection. We've traded depth for volume. We text instead of talk. We skim instead of read. We exist on the surface and wonder why we feel empty. The Stoics were big on depth. They weren't trying to do everything. They were trying to understand one thing well. They meditated on death for clarity, practiced voluntary discomfort for strength, and engaged in silence to master speech. Today, we interrupt ourselves mid-thought to check who viewed our story. Our relationships suffer too. You can't build trust in fragments. You can't love someone in between scrolls. Presence is the ultimate gift, and distraction is its thief. If you want deeper bonds, you need fewer interruptions. If you want deeper insight, you need more solitude. There's no shortcut around that. So next time you're with someone, put the phone down. Let the moment stretch. Resist the urge to escape. Because the people who feel most alive aren't the most stimulated. They're the most present. And that starts by making room for life to unfold, undistracted. Number 10, how to reclaim your life. The good news? You're not doomed. You're just distracted. And the difference between the two is one small decision at a time. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Just reclaim it moment by moment. One block of focus. One evening of silence. One walk without your phone. The Stoics weren't fans of perfection. They were fans of progress. They knew the path to virtue was a daily struggle. So start with one rule. Be harder to reach. Give your time to what matters. Say no to what doesn't. If that means fewer replies, so be it. If that means missing a trend, so be it. You're playing a longer game. Set digital boundaries. Build tech-free rituals. Journal before checking your phone. Schedule your distractions instead of being ambushed by them. You're not a monk, and you don't need to be. But you do need to stop letting someone else's algorithm dictate your attention. Distractions may have stolen parts of your life, but they don't get to steal your future. Reclaim your time like your life depends on it, because it does. And if you made it this far, you're already doing better than most. Don't stop now. If any part of this hit you good, it means you're waking up. So take what you've learned, close this video, and do less, but better. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's tired of feeling scattered. Let's bring focus and stoic calm back to a noisy world, one intentional choice at a time.